Welcome to the official debut of the Marching Band Playoff Bracket. I'm Daniel Montoya Jr. for General Effect Media. Now, over the last few years, GEM has done rankings, GEM rank, if you will. At first, we started off with a collection of voters. They were fans, supporters, designers, teachers, and judges. But we found over the course of the year, the submissions dwindled. So then we went to a committee of voters, very similar to the college football playoff or March Madness bracket of 64. We would meet every week and we discuss not only which bands should be ranked, but where they should be ranked. But this year, inspired by the new 12-team college football playoff bracket, we have decided to create our own marching band playoff bracket. Now, similar to the college football playoff, we have auto bids. Now, they do 4, we are doing 7, based on 7 different regions across the country. So you could look at it as a number 1 seed in the Pacific region, a number 1 seed in the Southeast region, etc. That gives us 7 auto bids. Now, in order to have some buys, that means they get to take a week off or a game off, we had to create either a bracket of 12 bands or a bracket of 20 bands. And we decided to go with 20 because GEM 20, GEM 12, they both sound kind of cool, but why not make it 20 so that more bands can have an opportunity to be ranked on the General Effect Media Marching Band Playoff Bracket? And after this first official weekend of Bandtober, we thought, why not unveil this bracket for the very first time in the first week of the month of October? So that's what we're going to do. And if all goes to plan, every Wednesday we will debut that week's marching band playoff bracket. So with all that out of the way, let's get to the week 1 bracket. First, let's list the auto bids from the respective regions, starting from the west and moving on to the east. Coming out of the Pacific region, we have Vista Murrieta. Out of the mountain region, American Fork. From the Great Plains, Broken Arrow. From the Lone Star State, Vandergrift. The Great Lakes, Carmel. The Northeast, Kiski area. And from the Southeast, Tarpon Springs. Now, unlike the college football playoff, the auto bids, or the number 1 seeds from each region, don't automatically get the top 7 spots. In fact, a group that comes out of a certain region could be 1st, could be 4th, could be 8th, could be 12th, etc. And conversely, just because you're an at-large does not mean you cannot be ranked above or below an auto bid. So who are these 13 auto bids? In random order: Avon, Rouse, Hebron, Cedar Ridge, Marcus, Capel, Flower Mound, Ronald Reagan, The Woodlands, Pearland, William Mason, Blue Springs, and Cedar Park. So now that we have our 7 auto bids and our 13 at large, let's take a look at the rankings for week 1. Our top 4 seeds and our groups that get a week 1 bye are number 4, Hebron, number 3, Carmel, number 2, Avon, and our overall number 1 seed, Vandergrift. Now let's talk about the 4 round 1 matchups. It's a number 20 versus a number 13, and in 20th we have Kiski area, and ranked 13th we have Pearland. Our next grouping is a 19 versus 14. At 19, we have Vista Murrieta, and at 14, we have Ronald Reagan. Next up, 18 versus 15, with 18th being American Fork, and 15th, Capel. And then our last round 1 matchup is a 17 versus 16. It's an Austin area Leander ISD battle, with Rouse at 17 and Cedar Park at 16. And now we have 4 matchups in round 2 that do not include the 4 groups that had the bye. We have number 12 Blue Springs versus number 5 Marcus. We have number 11 Cedar Park versus number 6 Flower Mound. Number 10 Broken Arrow takes on number 7 Tarpon Springs. And then we finish up with number 9 William Mason versus number 8 The Woodlands. Now, as you can see, our top 4 seeds do take on the winners from round 1 in hypothetical matches. So, for example, the winner of Rouse in Cedar Park doesn't go very far because they would compete versus number 1 Vandegrift. The winner of Pearland and Kieske area would travel to Dallas-Fort Worth to take on Hebron. The victor of Ronald Reagan versus Vista Murrieta would go all the way to Avon, Indiana. And then the winner of Capel and American Fork goes up to Carmel, Indiana. Now, yes, this is probably a little bit more hypothetical and fantastical, if that's a word, than just having a top 20 ranking. So if that's the kind of thing you want to see, well, we'll just go ahead and put it on the screen now so you can see how it all lays out. But as someone who constantly compares college football to what we do in marching band, drum corps, maybe even WGI type stuff, I think it's a really cool idea, a really fun idea to kind of create this hypothetical, actual best marching band in the country. We do it every year already, whether we use the Horn rankings, if we use Gem Rank, or we do our own personal Fantasy football or Fantasy league kind of thing. It's all fun. It's all hypothetical. It's all just what you would talk about drinking an apple juice at the breakfast table with your other band fellows. And yes, spoiler alert, in case you didn't know, staff members talk about this stuff all the time. Directors, designers, teachers, fans, parents, etc. There's always that, do you think this band would beat that band? This is just stuff that we talk about in person, we talk about on the internet, we talk about in Slack channels or private text threads. So why not put together a fun fantasy type bracket? One of my favorite sayings from my brother, whether he created it or stole it or not, is marching band is a purely offensive sport. There's no defense. You go out, you play your show, and then another group goes out and they play their shows. So it's all about scoring as many points as possible. You can't really do anything about keeping other bands from scoring points, at least nothing legal. But again, why not put together a fun, wild fantasy competition bracket of one versus whatever, and this band versus that, and this region versus that. It's all in good fun, and every week, more than likely, things will shift. And much like college football, look, sometimes a win propels you, and sometimes a loss drops you a little bit. So check back every Wednesday as we update the General Effect Media Marching Band Playoff Bracket. A little absurd? Absolutely. Ridiculous? I'll take it. Not cool? I'm not so sure about that. I think it is cool. Of course, as usual, this will invite conversation, this will invite discourse, this will invite calm, constructive criticism. So please leave your thoughts, leave your comments in the comment section down below. We've left out bands. We know that you're going to think this is Texas and Midwest heavy. I assure you, this is not just my thoughts. We put it together in a Slack channel, and some people said this band should be over this band should not be in. Wouldn't it be fun if we did this? All those conversations are taking place. I'm just the guy that gets to report it all. And yes, I'm the one pushing the needle and going like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? So, the General Effect Media Marching Band Playoff Bracket Week 1. Let us know what you think, not only about the rankings, the auto bids, the at-larges, but what do you think about the whole idea of this bracket? I think it's fun, a little convoluted, I'll allow. We might tweak it a little bit as the year goes on or tweak it entirely for next year. 64 bands would be a lot to rank. I think we could get comfortably to a 24, but then at that point, you're just like ranking a whole lot of bands. It's almost like you're increasing the number of bands you rank just so that you can always include a certain band in your rankings. We're not doing that here. Anyway, let's talk about what you think about this Marching Band Playoff Bracket in the comment section down below. Thanks so much. Remember to check back on Fridays for This Weekend in Band. Check back on Sundays/Mondays for the recap. And don't forget, this Saturday, General Effect Media will be live on site at the Kelly Reeves Athletic Complex for the Cedar Ridge Texas Marching Classic and the debut of our new show, Show Day. We're very excited about it. If you can, come on out, say what's up, appear on camera, behind, or an interview. Who knows? We'll be excited to see you. We'll check you back later this weekend.